Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, lovely morning. Lovely view out there. It looks clearer today than yesterday. It looked like a lot more mist. And we've got all the jeeps lining up. It's now 6:10. 6:15 is the off. Yesterday afternoon we could really see how important the timing was. Nobody went out the gate until 2:15, and as soon as it hit 2:15 you could see everyone taking off. How many jeeps are there here? 6, 9, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 23, 24. 24 jeeps, 24 rooms. Good morning, Prakash. How are you?
I'm fine, and you, sir?
Good. Did you sleep well?
Yes, sir, and you?
Good. You're walking with a smile on your face. Do you expect something?
I don't know, it rains, I have no clue.
You didn't see it yesterday, did you?
No, nobody saw yesterday.
Yeah.
Only one car saw yesterday, I think.
Yeah.
That was a canter.
So you reckon one today?
Yeah.
Do you mind being on YouTube?
No, not
So
at all.
that interview will be on YouTube?
Okay.
Okay.
Well, good morning.
Didn't get any. But you've got to remember, a tiger isn't a chicken. Chickens you see everywhere. Tiger is special.
Yeah.
Okay, brilliant. Do you mind if you're on YouTube? So I just video you there. So maybe when I edit the video, I'll have our conversation on there. Okay.
Yeah, this is good.
Pervez, did you fix the Jeep?
Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah, it was this one, wasn't it?
No, it's the back. It's the back.
Well, he had that wheel off.
Oh, did he?
Maybe he was moving parts around.
I'm going up.
Okay, ready?
Yeah.
Okay, we're off.
6:15. Bang on.
This morning.
Different area.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
This morning is the folding bridge. The scenario is a very lovely scenario this morning.
Okay.
But always this scenario change. The morning is a different scenario.
Yeah.
Evening is a different scenario.
Fantastic.
Now we can check it different scenarios. Morning scenario,
Okay.
like misty water in the flow in the water.
Okay, thank you.
And the complete.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning.
Morning.
I want to just stop for a moment and remind ourselves where we are. We're in the middle of Corbett National Park, which is 250 kilometers northeast of Delhi in the foothills of the Himalayas. Corbett National Park is a short distance from Jim Corbett's home in Nainital in Kalaungi, two places we'll be visiting later on in our trip. We're staying right in the very middle of Corbett National Park. This morning's drive will take us on a route I've heard our guides call the Samba or Champion route. It's from Tikala, and we'll travel along here and along the edge of the Ramganga river. We'll cut across here, across these plains here, and travel along here to a point and over here. And when we get there, we'll then come back for our breakfast, and then we'll head up into the forest here and round, ending up on the plains just down here, where we're looking for the grassland tigers again.
So we have different areas.
But look at the view.
Beautiful.
All peak.
Lovely sunrise.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
That's very good peak.
Yeah. Lovely shape.
Yeah, just... The baby's very nervous. Baby's gone and hidden, is it? Yeah. Okay. Ciao. Yeah. Thank you.
But is it? Oh! Oh! Very loud.
This is the
Very low sound.
hog deer.
Hog deer.
Hog deer's low sound. Okay.
खाली ow, not a long.
Yeah, thank you.
They cannot survive in forest area.
Okay, they only survive
They
in
not
the
eat
grassland.
leaves and then just eating the ground grasses.
Okay,
But you can see hog deer in only Dhikala, this area.
only in this area in Dakala.
Darker colour, aren't they? Yeah.
But the elephants.
Elephant.
Oh, lovely. First thing in the morning. Beautiful. There's one of them looking at us from the end. Looking carefully. Oh, here comes another one looking. He's saying, what are you guys doing? They're coming up from the river. They're going to cross behind.
They're coming towards us.
There's some stragglers. The youngsters are behind. And there's a youngster with horns over there, and he keeps shouting.
Yeah. Behave.
Naughty male.
He's nervous, he doesn't want to come across us, and the other elephants are just here, waiting for him. He's obviously taking the long way round. One nervous male elephant. Yeah, lovely.
He means, with the loud crying, he means, mom, don't leave me here. Don't leave me. I'm alone here.
How old is that male?
6, 7 years.
6, 7 years.
Six,
Yeah.
5, 6, 7 years.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, golly.
There go the elephants up into the forest.
I mentioned part of this route is often called the Champion Road. Who was F.W. Champion? He was an Indian forestry officer who took stunning flash photography of tigers with the very early cameras in the 1920s. Jim Corbett acknowledged him as a person who had helped influence him to turn to photography. Later, Jim himself was known to take his own camera everywhere. His premise was a photograph lasts forever, whereas an animal trophy, after a few years, deteriorates and decays.
Coming in March, we're definitely seeing loads of elephants.
Jim was often heard saying, photographs are the best trophies. I have absolutely no doubt he'd be very proud of all of us today, capturing on camera India's wonderful flora and fauna.
Illegal? Okay.
Yeah, fantastic. Thank you. Lovely.
Beautiful, thank you. Sun.
Thank you.
It's something they do in the camera. You know what it is.
Oh, it's the distortion. It moves from wide angle to
Yeah.
so it distorts.
Oh, stop. Please. Thank you.
तो इसमें जो भी होगा ब्लैक नजर आएगा बेहतरीन स्टाइल बनेगा ना
Beautiful time of the day, isn't it? Just the mist, and unlike yesterday, the mist was much heavier and thicker.
It's almost, well, my phone not able to pick up anything. It's so thick.
As we drive round and enjoy the wonderful landscape and wildlife, I want to travel back in time to the mid to late 1800s, how India's nature was perceived at that time, some 150 years ago. Animals were seen in terms of sport. Very kindly, a YouTube follower suggested I read a book called Sport and Adventure in an Indian Jungle.
Do you think they're going to cross the river here?
It's very far, but just now all are the grazing, eating the grass. So it take too long time. Also, peahen is there.
And the peacock.
Peahen is not eating fish.
No, they eat insects.
The jungle is the way is same, forest is same, but scenario is different. But every time.
A sportsman from that time wrote about what he called the finest shooting grounds in India, not known to a dozen persons. 1,500 square miles of densely wooded, well-watered and hill and dale. Corbett National Park is around 200 square miles. The area is little troubled with cultivation of any kind. It's just the ideal home for wild beasts in India. It is within 24 hours of Calcutta. It's wonderful that it has not been more shot over. Here the lordly elephant, the shaggy bison, the sullen buffalo, the stately Samba, tigers and their kind, deer of all sorts, bears, immense crocodiles, wild hog, peafowl and a dozen other game birds can be had galore.
It's that Samba and the deer right in the river. The Samba deer decide not to cross there and they come back into the river. And the landscape will change very rapidly as any mist is dried up or warmed up by the heat of the sun.
Our 19th century sportsman continues. It is a veritable sportsman's paradise. Are you fond of fishing? The river, which flows through the state from north to south, teems with all kinds of fish. Is it a tusker you want? With the Raja's permission, you can shoot over the elephant reserves and take your choice of herds. Buffalo and bison are plentiful in the deep valleys and deer everywhere. Quite recently, a railway man, over a period of a fortnight, bagged 2 bison, 3 buffalo, several fine Samba in the neighborhood, while a young gunner shot a tusker whose ivory sold for more than the cost of the trip several times over.
Yes, Samba is the side of the tree, but huge Samba, male Samba.
Bus. Oh no, a bit more. Bit more. Bit more. Bit more. Bus.
Oh yeah, nice one.
Where is he? I've got a little bit.
One more front of the car. And behind the one. Only on Samba. Some rest में कुछ नहीं, rest में कुछ नहीं. अभी मुश्किल मुझे नहीं लगी. Okay?
Yep.
Yeah.
Thank you.
He continues, one of the reaches of the still water in this valley is known locally as Ramganga, Crocodile Pool. A low sandbar stretches along the left bank, and it is this bank that is a favorite breeding place for the gharial or long-nosed crocodile. At the time of my visit, dozens of these great creatures were basking in the sun on the sandbar on the left bank. They allowed us to approach within 20 yards without making any attempt to move. Our guards said these were females watching over their eggs, which were buried in the sand. We threw several stones at them from the bank above, but they merely snapped their jaws viciously and made a loud hissing sound.
Present morning temperature's about, what, 18? 16? David,
Would you reckon it's warmer than yesterday? So 18.
The long snout, terminating in a saucer-like enlargement, is the most curious part of this strange animal. The jaw at its thinnest part is not more than 9 inches round, and the snout terminates in a ball about 6 inches in diameter. On this drive we'll actually go on and see a crocodile of this type.
He's quite nervous, isn't he?
Okay?
Yep. That's it. Thank you. Thank you.
Our sportsman now tells us about his magnificent trophies. 2 males were shot during the day, measuring respectively 19 feet 4 inches and 18 feet 6 inches, the massive tail making up fully 1/3 of the bulk. He continues, when we'd irritated the females, all small animals under 12 feet, for some time, they began to give off a strong musky odor. This, our guides told us, was to call the bull crocodiles, and true enough, shortly afterwards we saw several of these monsters in the middle of the pool, with just the point of the snout and the dorsal ridge appearing above the surface, but from the height at which we stood, we could see their great lengths in the clear water.
Yes, that's it. Finish the movement.
What are they? Tree pie?
True pie is flying 2.
And these ones making this
Custard, white custard, laughing thread.
white throaty kingfisher
White custard.
Over
there,
there.
there,
Right,
on that tree in front of us. Yeah.
The tail was a.
Pie. Remember pie is like magpie, these eggs, that mixture.
In the 19th century, there were no cameras for the ordinary person. Trophies were collected to show off one's prowess to family and friends. Quite unimaginable to many of us in the 21st century. Our 19th century sportsman continues. Presently, the water seemed quite alive with crocodiles, and 2 monsters showed themselves on the opposite bank. It was of no use shooting at the brutes in the water, as so little of them was to be seen above the surface. So sighting my martini for 150 yards, I aimed carefully behind the shoulder of one and fired. Ere the echoes from the neighbouring hills had ceased, the sandbank was quite clear of the great lizard, the unaccustomed sound of the explosion sending them tumultuously into the deep water. I could see that my shot had taken effect on the opposite bank. There was a great splash of water, and every minute or two a great brute would appear above the surface, his jaws quite clear of the water, slapping very viciously together. This occurred several times, and then he drew himself up onto the rock on the opposite bank, and there snapped and snapped his teeth for fully 5 minutes, when he died. He continues. In the meantime, a second large bull swam to the sandbar just below us, and with his body half out of the water, kept watching us with his small fishy eyes. I and my friend fired together, and both our bullets took effect. He was into the water with a splash, and we saw no more of him till the next day. We found his body lying dead on the sandbar.
Crying bird. Crying bird.
Crying bird.
This one.
Is he crying?
Now quite.
The creatures had now become very wary of us and would not show themselves on land. Although they kept swimming in the pool not 50 yards off, we fired repeatedly at them in the water, but failed to dry them off, and the boatman declared it would be dangerous to cross in the dugout, as the animals would be certain to attack us if we entered the water. We had to walk back to camp, 3 miles away, and came next day to recover our spoils. The brute first shot was a monster bull with a body larger, rounder than a big buffalo's. He had 196 teeth. According to the natives, these creatures have 64 teeth when young and get 4 fresh teeth every year. Brute must have been 33 years old, since they are said to live to over 100 years. What a row of teeth such a heroic monster would have. While it is appalling for us to read these accounts today, let us not kid ourselves that mankind is any different in this day and age. Corbett and his likes helped to make us aware of India's flora and fauna. But today we continue our planet's destruction in so many other ways. Pollution, plastics, deforestation, and I can go on, and we all can add to this list.
These are blackberry.
Blackberry trees.
Yeah.
Oh, lovely, aren't they? Very different. The first light of the day hitting the elephants. big herd of spotted deer. Right. Yeah, a lot of tiger food here.
Yesterday you saw tiger. The tigers are not coming in this area.
No.
Why?
Why?
Because it's not a territory.
Not his territory, okay.
Yes.
Oh, I
Here's a
see.
different tiger
Different tiger.
in this place.
Different tiger.
Different. Look at the view.
Lovely.
Having shot these two magnificent crocodiles, some 19 feet in length, our sportsman continues by telling us what he does with their bodies. When we skinned the monster, the cork-like substance on the top round saucer of his nose was secured by the natives as medicine, but carefully saved and boiled down into oil.
One crocodile.
Which finds a ready sale all over Bengal among the native women as a sovereign remedy for sterility.
One big crocodile.
Swimming.
One head, I think. He's got a bulb on the front. It's
Oh,
the
see. It's one head.
Garwal.
It took a large amount of curing before the skins were fit to hang up.
Gallia.
Looks detached, doesn't it?
It's the end of its nose.
The
isn't it?
gapping.
Big gapping is what?
It's the end of its nose. That's where it gets its name.
I don't understand what the gap is. Is it on the end of a nose?
Yeah. It's like a pot on the end of its nose.
Oh,
For keeping air.
I don't know what the purpose is.
cool. Good looks.
He looks lovely.
Go
Breakfast
back.
time.
For breakfast?
For breakfast.
Well, it's 8 o'clock.
40, yeah, now 40 and 45 minutes till going
Okay.
reach there.
Okay, 45 minutes back. We now head back. 45 minutes or so for breakfast, which is on the far bank. Just about make out Takalia in the trees, just above the plain. Nobody's seen a tiger this morning?
Nobody.
No.
Last time tiger is now sleeping.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's why sitting quietly and just nobody talking or moving
Yeah, it's nice. Very nice.
is a nice thing to do, isn't it?
Yeah.
While we were detained by the Samba stag, an orchestra played for us in the Sal forest. It was pure magic. But which birds were singing? Well, we'll talk more about that later when we stop with our guides. Going back to the late 1800s, Jim Corbett was born into the world of trophy hunting. There wasn't the understanding as there is today of ecology, the importance of the land, soil, trees, vegetation and wildlife.
A baby, right? Opposite you. Tiny.
Very small baby.
Very tiny, right?
That's very tiny.
Very tiny.
Tiny. Very tiny. Newborn.
As the 20th century dawned, there was growing concern among the Indian forestry officers, in particular such as F.W. Champion, for the damage being done by mankind upon the forests and wildlife. As we heard in part 1, Jim Corbett set out to raise awareness to stop this destruction.
I thought you said the tiger in the grassland. No tigers there.
No tiger.
Wow.
Just we thought कि no, the car is not a lot of car. There is a car.
Yeah.
So we thought that maybe tiger is sighting in grassland,
Yeah.
but all are coming from the grassland.
Saying
There is
nothing.
no, didn't see tigers.
Well,
Maybe-
we've had a good morning.
Good
That is
morning.
what I thought as well,
Yeah.
because we are
Again,
the only
crows
cars here.
coming or going.
We're reversing back to try and see why the others aren't with us.
Have they spotted something that we are missing out on? Maybe a tiger, leopard or pangolin? The early Indian forest officers would be so proud of their counterparts today, 100 years later, who are still working so hard to preserve India's magnificent forests and fauna.
Thank you.
Appropriately, we meet a forest patrol. We owe them so much.
Forest guards. On duty.
Thank you.
Yeah. Only 2 jeeps in. Yep.
Bloody hell.
So what's the app called?
Merlin.
What
Merlin.
did you see brown-headed barbarian? God.
It is amazing, isn't it?
You need to show the guide that.
Oriental magpie, common pillar bird, white magpie.
Oh wow.
Merlin ever.
This is the unique thing, sir.
It's incredible.
Incredible, eh?
Because David
When
just,
we were watching Samba,
yeah.
When we watched
वो
the
जब वो
Samba,
हाँ वहाँ पे थे जब उन्होंने चला था ना
put it on. Everyone went quiet, and we were just listening, and then it picks the first bird
Automatically.
automatically, and then it identifies all the birds, and when it hears it again, it goes yellow.
Yeah.
So if the bird repeats its song, it goes yellow, and then it moves to the next one, repeating its song, yellow. So you know, you can listen and you can watch this, and you can see which bird is making which song.
yeah.
It's very good.
It's very good, yes.
Very good, yeah.
The first time I heard this thing. अब ये जो हमने चिड़िया सुनी थी वहाँ पे बैठ के जब सांबर थे 9 चिड़िया आ गई उसमें वो जो चिड़िया बोल रही जब सांबर हम वहाँ कांडा पे खड़े थे तो 9 चिड़िया की आवाज आई इसमें टोटल जो उसमें
ऐप में 9 o'clock, yeah.
He's saying that
Merlin app में
email address
Yeah, you need to
internet.
You need to set it up with the internet,
Yes.
and then you'll have to go and find the right database, download India, The whole of India is what I did. And then it'll work without internet.
You downloaded North
saw you.
India
Okay.
and it didn't all work.
Only some birds.
He downloaded all India
Okay.
and
I
it
got
picked
9
up
birds,
everything. So when you download it, download all India.
So then it works.
When it works.
When it works
North.
better.
जो है ना
Works
इसमें
better.
मतलब मैं बताऊँ इसमें ऑल इंडिया का भी पूरा है तुम्हें ऑल
पर
इंडिया
वो कह रहा है कि
का
नॉर्थ इंडिया का तुम अगर डाउनलोड करोगे तो नहीं आएगा फिर
9:10. You have to report back. 30 minutes for breakfast.
He wants 20 minutes.
Our guides and drivers work tirelessly to show us the different flora and fauna. We now drive deep into the forest. The first time we did this was in 2006. We came across a yellow marten and its family crossing the road around our jeep. It was very special. One thing is certain on wildlife drives or any safaris is that you never know what's around the corner and what you'll encounter. There's so much to see and experience, if only you give it time and patience.
The core zone.
Only the going is the only forest department
Okay.
and research activity.
Ah.
Okay, so we can't go up there, but that's
Yeah.
core zone right
Yeah.
at the heart of Corbett. It's only open to the forest.
Mostly use the elephant this plant leaves.
So the elephants eat this in the summer?
Yes.
Yeah.
Green-billed malkoha.
Oh, wow.
Malkoha. है नहीं मलकोहा की फोटो बड़ा भाई वो अंदर को ये वही 300 200 400 जो भी है ना फिर मानता है
So we saw the tiger yesterday down there, and we left it looking in this grassland. But that wasn't last night, though, was it?
that was last night.
Last night?
Yeah.
How
It
can
was
you
not
tell?
yesterday. Because you can see that because nobody came in that area. They came the middle side because yesterday it was not here.
Okay.
Morning maybe
They would have spotted it
nobody
yesterday.
saw it.
Yeah.
Somebody have seen it that because that road is not proper.
In 2006 and in 2009, when we came to India, we were looking for tigers, and we think the forest guards were going around with a stamp on the ground. They were saying, "Look, there's a tiger here. Look at the footprints."
Yeah.
And they were going with a stamp showing
Which place?
You thought
Assam. We went to
no,
Manas.
actually you thought like some Indian people came from Delhi and Chandigarh. They thought like that.
No, I think the forest guards had an agreement.
Yeah.
Instead of the post office stamp, tiger stamp.
And we went inside. We saw lots of elephant dung. So he said that this is a duty of the department. They're bringing dung from outside and put it inside first.
I love it. Very good.
Look at the monkeys that climb to gypsy. Hey, come on. भाग जाओ ना. सारा पूरा करके गाड़ी में.